Sir, I'm sorry. He is not a fat pig, okay? This man, I'm saying, he is not a fat pig. No, it's true. And you can't use the term fat. You're allowed to use the word pig, but not fat. No, the man just said he's a fat pig, and I said, no, he's not a fat pig. So now the press can't kill me because all I'm doing is responding. I'm responding. He is not a fat pig.
Former President Donald Trump was clearly triggered by Chris Christie, who actually addressed the audience at the Florida GOP Freedom Conference on Saturday and had some harsh words for Donald Trump, something that Trump clearly didn't take so kindly to. Now again, earlier in the day, Christie was booed off stage over his critical comments toward the former president. Let's take a look.
Well, now it feels like home. Thank you all very much. Let me first thank the chairman and everyone here. Yep. Look, what a shock. You're for Trump. I'm going to fall over dead. Now look, every one of those boos, every one of those catcalls, every one of those yells will not keep it, yes, sure, will not solve one problem we face in this country, will not solve, and will not make this country better. Your anger against the truth is reprehensible.
That is how his 15-minute speech began. I watched the entirety of it. Here's what happened toward the end of his speech.
If your arguments are so strong, if your arguments are so great, and mine are so bad, then just keep quiet. Let me make my awful arguments, and then you can just reject them out of hand. But the problem is you fear the truth. The problem is you want to shout down any voice that says anything different than what you want to hear. And you can continue to do it. And believe me, it doesn't bother me one bit. We deserve, once again, better character in the White House than what we've had from the last three presidents. Much better than what we've had from the last three presidents. We cannot turn our back on the character flaws of the people we've helped to make leaders and then point our finger at the character flaws of the one who's sitting in the White House now.
Clearly, at that very last part, Cenk, he was trying to appeal to Republicans by pointing to Democratic presidents that he didn't like, while of course simultaneously taking jabs at Donald Trump and his lack of character. But look, these attacks haven't really played out so well for Chris Christie. Let's take a look at the Real Clear Politics average of polls in the Republican primary. Chris Christie doesn't even register in the top three. Obviously, Donald Trump has a massive lead at 59.3. DeSantis still comes in at second with 13.4, and Haley is at 8.3. And then if you take a look at the next graph, you'll see that Donald Trump has just been rising in the polls, especially over the last several months. Whereas Chris Christie, who is represented by the yellow line, is only bringing in 2.2%. Trump is of course represented by the purple line. I don't think that needs to be said, but just in case, that's where you see Trump rising in the polls. Cenk.
Yeah, so first of all, a lot of credit to Chris Christie, because it takes courage to go in front of your side's audience and call them out. So try doing that with the left if you're on the left. And so it's not just the right, and it takes courage to do it. And so he went into that lion's den and told them that their disregard for the truth is reprehensible. All right, whatever else Chris Christie has done or is going to do, at least good on him for that. And so credit where credit is due. So Donald Trump is his usual pig self. So two can play that. Did you just call Trump a fat pig? I didn't say it, but Trump's also a fat pig. I mean, he's not because you can't say it. I mean, that giant tire he has around his gut as he takes that golf swing that we've all seen. The guy's at least 300 pounds, but I can't say it. I mean, I don't know who weighs. Are you positive that Chris Christie weighs more than Donald Trump? I'm not at all positive of that.
I'm pretty positive.
No. Chris Christie's a big guy, but Donald Trump's a lot taller, and he's also incredibly round in the middle.
He is round in the middle. You're correct about that. Yeah.
So, anyways, guys, I'm just saying that rhetorically, just to pay him back, right?
But look to your point though, Cenk. I mean, I think it shows strength to actually address the substance of what Chris Christie is saying, as opposed to immediately resorting to ad hominem attacks, because that's what Trump did there. Now, his supporters are going to support him no matter what. Like, he's got incredibly.
In fact, they love that.
Yeah, totally. But if I recall correctly, conservatives for a while now really like to pride themselves on not resorting to ad hominem attacks and instead addressing the substance of what their opponents would bring up, right? They accuse the left of always engaging in ad hominem attacks. And honestly, in some cases they do. But in this case, you have the leader of the Republican Party, the preferred presidential candidate for the Republican Party, not addressing anything that Chris Christie said, just attacking Chris Christie and his appearance. And I think that's kind of weak.
Of course, he's super weak. He never has any evidence for anything. So today he embarrassed himself in the New York trial, again, not presenting any evidence, 60 court cases about the 2020 election, not one piece of evidence. And so if you're one of the Trump zombies, try looking into evidence. I know you hate the idea. You hate the idea of facts and evidence and anything that'll show you that your beloved Donald Trump is an obvious pathological liar who actually tried to steal the election himself. I know that hurts your feelings. Facts hurt your feelings, and your feelings are paramount, right? So again, credit to Chris Christie for going in and calling it out. Now, having said that, I thought that Chris Christie, since he's a lot stronger than the other Republican candidates and is willing to at least punch back, would gain some respect within Republican voters and would rise a little bit more. Not that he'd necessarily catch Trump, but that he'd have a shot, because at least he's being aggressive. It turns out, nope. No, they hate anyone who tells them the truth about Trump. So that's MAGA world, and it is what it is. Yeah. So nice try though. Thanks for watching the video, guys. We also love it if you hit the join button below, because that makes you a member, and members allow us to be independent, honest. We can be as progressive as we want, no corporate media influence, and that's all because of you guys. We love doing the show with our members. Hit the join button, become one of the Young Turks.